Hello everybody, this is me Johan here. Now I've been using this Motorola Z Play as my secondary phone over the past 3 years almost. Now how does it stack up in 2020? Where did it stand out? And where did it fall short? This is my Motorola Z Play re-review in 2020. As far as the display is concerned, this is a 1080p 5.5-inch display. It's an AMOLED display. Due to that, watching videos on this display was always a pleasurable experience. One of the biggest gripes I have with this display is its sunlight legibility. Under direct sunlight, it's at 100% brightness right now, and as you guys can see, it's just not bright enough. It's visible, but just not bright enough, and has never been the best experience. Now moving to the area build, the front of the phone is made up of Corning Gorilla Glass, and as you guys can see, I've used tempered glass throughout its usage cycle, and due to that there have been no evident damages on the display. Now moving to the thing that keeps this phone together, it's the frame. The frame of this phone is made up of solid aluminum through in and throughout, and it's held up really well. There is one reason behind it holding up really well though. The main reason for this phone holding up really well is because of that rugged case over there. And that rugged case was used throughout the cycle, or rather the usage cycle of this phone. And as you guys can see, the case is completely torn apart. As you guys can see, it can barely be even used right now. But I must say one thing, I did drop this phone on many occasions, and thanks to the case over there, the phone did not face any kind of damage. Now moving to the back of the phone, this phone, as you guys can see, is made up of glass completely, and even the circular camera bump over here is made up of glass. And as you guys can see, I've used screen protector film through in and throughout over here and even over here. The main reason behind me using it over here is because many people had a lot of complaints that this area over here is getting scratched rather easily. One friend of mine had to replace this entire area over here in just 1 year's time. But thanks to this, it's completely protected the phone, and telling you the truth, if I remove this, it's as good as new. Now coming to a very important aspect of any phone, how has the performance of a 3-year-old mid-ranger phone held up? This phone, as you guys know, comes with 3 GB of RAM, the Snapdragon 625 octa-core processor, and the Adreno 506 GPU. The performance is still very much acceptable. I have very rarely faced any kind of crashes. When in use, for example, right now, I have about 10 apps open in the background. Simultaneously, that is. Slowdown is there here and there, but never to the point of it hanging by any means. To keep in mind, this phone's memory is filled to its brim. All of the 32 GB has been used up. Even though it does have a memory card slot, I do not use that up. Nowadays, I don't play games. There was a time where I played Asphalt 9, which was very much playable on this phone. Now, coming to the part of the speaker of this phone, it's a single fairing speaker on this phone. It never was the loudest. I'm just playing a clip for you guys right now, but as you guys can hear, it's crisp and clear. And what I enjoyed more than that was the quality of audio via its headphone jack, which was more than respectable. If there's one area Motorola stand out, it's with its call quality and reception. Did the call quality and reception on this phone stand out? The word to use over here is just simply excellent. Crisp and clean throughout its usage cycle. I must say one thing, the earpiece on this phone is really superb, and I could clearly hear what the other person on the other side was saying. So could the other person hear what I was saying. So call quality and reception throughout its 3-year cycle has been nothing short of superb. Really satisfied in this department. Now regarding the update cycle of this phone, throughout its 3-year usage, the phone received 2 major software updates. The Android 7 update, and of course the one it's on right now, the Android 8 update. The security updates came all the way till the 1st of August 2018. So right now it is March of 2020, so it's been a year and a half without major updates. Alright, then moving to the side of the cameras, the selfie cam on this is a 5 megapixel selfie cam with an LED flash towards this side. And of course the rear camera is a 16 megapixel camera with its LED flash placed right over here, which makes this feel a little outdated because most of the phones that come these days come with 3 or 4 cameras at the back.
Now regarding the actual camera performance of this phone, this is an area that disappointed me in this phone. The cameras don't really stand out in any ways. They are below average and never made me feel like taking pics. Daylight and low light all came out below average and has been the biggest weakness of this phone.
Alright, then moving to a very important facet of this phone, and that is to do with the mods. This was the first phone from Motorola that came out with the mod facility. And there were so many mods that came out. One was a Hasselback camera mod, there was a speaker mod, there was a battery mod. There were so many mods that came out. This phone came out of the box with this style mod, and all that needs to be done is to place it right at the back, and it just latches onto the phone like this. So this helps the phone's back from being protected. But there was only one thing in this, only the back was being protected. I couldn't protect all the other areas, and due to that I bought a rugged case for this phone, and I kept this in its box till date, to be very honest. But I do have a friend who did use the battery mod on this phone, and he tells me it changed his style of charging with the mod on. And believe me when I tell you this, guys, he's an extremely heavy user. He got a battery backup of over 2 days, so that's really saying something. I felt the the battery mod was a very useful mod, but to tell you the truth, mods like the Hasselback camera mod costed almost as much as a Z Play, and all the other mods were really expensive. And due to it being very expensive, the entire ecosystem, although a good ecosystem, turned out to be a complete failure. One of the main reasons why I bought this phone was for its incredible battery backup. I'll show you some stats that might shock you even now. When I bought it, I was easily getting a day and a half of backup and between 7 and 8.5 hours of screen on time. Even today when I use it moderately, it easily gives me a full day of backup and between 5.5 and 6.5 hours of screen on time. I'll just show you a few stats, just have a look at it over here. On this occasion I got 20 hours and 1 minute of standby time and 5 hours and 57 minutes of screen on time. And on another occasion 21 hours and 57 minutes of standby time and 6 hours and 10 minutes of screen on time. This is with both Wi-Fi and 4G mix. Dual SIM full time, by the way. Over the past 2 days I really pushed this phone's battery, and I'll show you guys the stats right now. On the first day, as you guys can see, a standby time of 13 hours and 35 minutes and an astonishing 7 hours and 40 minutes of screen on time. And on the second day, that was just yesterday, 13 hours and 38 minutes of standby time and again 7 hours and 22 minutes of screen on time. On both these occasions, I landed up watching YouTube videos for extended periods of time, made a few phone calls and used all the other social media apps here and there whenever it was required. And all of this was with a mixture of 4G and Wi-Fi, dual SIM by the way. So keep in mind, this is a 3-year-old phone and its battery has held up really well. And I must say one thing, with a very modest 3510 mAh battery, this phone achieves all these astonishing stats. Finally, after nearly 3 years of using this phone, it's finally time to say goodbye to the Z Play. I must say one thing, I really fell in love with this phone. And for anyone who's still using the Z Play, it's still perfect for watching videos and taking phone calls and using moderately as your secondary phone. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys loved the video, I'd appreciate it if you guys could give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and hit the bell icon right next to it so that you'll get notified with the latest videos the second they uploaded on YouTube by me. So what else can I say? Wishing all of you a tremendous day ahead of you. Ciao for now.